make a new thumbnail?
How does this look, everyone?
It says waiting. You're on Sarah's phone now.
Does this look okay? Does this sound okay? It still says waiting.
Someone says yay. That's a good sign. It's alive. You're on Sarah's phone now.
Unless they're glad it went away earlier and they were like, yay, this looks okay, this sounds okay. Okay, cool. Out of curiosity, how did
it says much better, so it must have still sounded crappy on the other one.
Did it sound crappy on when I was using my phone a second ago? One guy says, woo. Okay.
Please don't go.
No, we're leaving after we find out that the sound is okay.
Our point was made.
All right, anyway.
So we saw I Feel Pretty.
All of these steps to take to talk about this movie.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so we just got out of I Feel Pretty.
Do you feel pretty?
No, I feel very ugly. I feel incredibly ugly because of the thumbnail we just took.
I thought it was artsy.
We decided to go a more artsy route.
It jumped up to take a picture of the thumbnail, and it was like just this tiny little window within my frame.
The thought that was going through my head was like, I hope the whole review isn't shot like this, so it's this checker box in the middle of the thing.
We'll just like mush our faces
together. What a weird feature for this video.
I Feel Pretty had some funny moments, but it was on the whole pretty boring.
So you got it, folks. See you later. Yeah, all right. So the plot of this movie is that Amy Schumer works in the basement of this...
she's in like the website portion of a big makeup company.
Yeah.
And so she's got to work in like this basement, which is like her and this other guy.
Mm-hmm.
And she does not feel pretty, which is a problem because it's huge on her priority list.
Yeah.
And then she bonks her head and feels pretty.
Well, that's after she's watching Big. And,
don't remind me of a much better movie, you dumb movie.
Just thinking that too. But then no, it's okay, because then it referenced a bad movie inadvertently when she tried to make The Wish in the Well. Uh-huh. And that was that Jason Bateman, Ryan Reynolds switcheroo movie, The Change Up, I think it was called.
I've never heard of this movie in my life. It sounds amazing.
You'll remember this movie in a second, because you were in the car with me during the review, and that was when Jared and Jillian were reviewing it, and they were screaming at each other the entire time.
Which time, though?
That was the only review they ever did together, because we were like, wouldn't it be funny if we had Jillian and Jared review a movie together? And it was.
Is that the one where she was like making tallies on her hand? Okay, I remember the tallies. I don't remember anything about the movie, though.
That's because they barely talked about the movie. They were just screaming at each other for 30 minutes. Me and you were in the front seat like, this is great.
Like each other.
So, yeah, she bonks her head, and then she envisions herself like she's a fashion...
She's like a super pretty, super thin...
Yeah, you never, see what she sees.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like she looks in the mirror and then there's just, another actress looking at her or anything like that.
It's a decision that I appreciated.
Oh, sure,
I think I'd have been annoyed if they had picked some, quintessential...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean... it couldn't go the full Shallow Hal route. Just a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
And so that's really the movie. She gains a shitload of confidence. She gets a boyfriend. She is then working as the receptionist for this fashion line, in which she becomes very popular there. She's very confident. She excels at all these meetings she's going to the point to where she's the one who is suggesting the kinds of products they should be putting out for the clientele that they want to bring into their company, because this company is kind of seen as this elitist, snooty sort of New York.
It's a high-end makeup company, and they're starting a diffusion line to sell at Target, and Michelle Williams pronounce it Kohl's, and they're trying to they found a Joe Everyman to kind of help them market to ordinary women.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's thinking that they're hiring her on because she's so pretty, and really they're hiring her on because she's got good ideas and she's a normal looking woman.
Mm-hmm.
I kept thinking this movie's if What Women Want, if he couldn't actually read women's minds. He just thought that he could. because it was a lot of like that pompous, self-absorbed character arc where like a shallow person figures out something that the rest of humanity already fucking knows, and we're supposed to cheer for them as a movie audience.
You talk about her character.
I'm talking about both of these two movies. This movie and also What Women Want.
Yeah.
I feel like it was trying to do a send-up of like that sort of magical realism, What Women Want, big, shallow hell sort of business, but it didn't do it particularly well.
I never got the sense that it was trying to be satirical of those movies or being a send-up of it. I just sat there watching it just thinking it just was one of these movies.
Mm-hmm.
And not even one of the better ones of those films. I laughed more at Shallow Hal than I did at this movie.
That could be a different conversation.
I did. I thought it was. I did. I thought Shallow Hal was a funnier film than this.
Mm.
Like, message of the movie aside, I don't know. I haven't seen it in a long time, but going by my reaction of this movie and my reaction of Shallow Hal, I had a better time at Shallow Hal than I did at this film.
I laughed 3 times at this movie, which means I laughed 3 more times than I laughed at Shallow
Hal.
But again, that is a separate conversation,
Sure.
and one that I can't really speak to right now because it's been a while since I've seen Shallow Hal. I only remember disliking it.
Right. What about compared to What Women Want?
What Women Want had some genuinely funny moments
does.
in it. Like, there's a scene where, like, he could, like, read the mind of a poodle. Yeah. And there's, like, no fucking reason for him to be reading this poodle's mind. You don't even know it's, like, a lady poodle, but just the fact that she's, like, it's, like, a lady-looking dog. Yeah. She's like, Monsieur, I'm trying to poop.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because in movies, in television, in cartoons, poodles are
the girls.
Female. They are all female. I really don't know how they breed. You've never seen a male poodle in Tequila and Benetti.
Probably you have. Tequila just didn't realize it.
Oh, well, that was an episode they couldn't film because it got canceled too soon. I'm confused, B.
I'm confused, B. I thought poodles only came in ladies.
So classic.
Weird.
I rewatched parts of What Women Want not too long ago because Laura was watching it, and I was in the room doing some other things, but I was kind of half watching it, and I was like, I don't know, this is fine.
I think that for me, the most of the comedy is just, again, the sheer befuddlement that, like, women are people on the inside. Just like, what? Inner monologues?
I mean, I understand it from a story concept because that's the arc that the character has to take. Same within Shallow Hal. Same within this as well. This movie was just, I don't know. I was never really sitting there that mad during this movie, but it was one of those movies where it was kind of the same joke over and over again, and more often than not it just wasn't landing for me. There's things I liked about it, but when it was to the point to where it was just sort of the same gag again and again with a lot of the same punchlines and a lot of, a lot of scenes where she walks in with confidence and everything, and then the other person's reacting like, huh? Okay. It was a lot of that, and I was like, this would be probably a good sketch, which I think it is. Like, I think it is a 30 Rock sketch, if I remember right, like overly confident woman or something. I can't remember, but that's ringing a bell, and I think it was from 30 Rock. And when it really wasn't landing for me in this movie gets super awkward in quite a few places. And like not enjoyably so. Just there's so many scenes in this movie that maybe start out funny but go on too long. Like, I'd be like, okay, this was kind of a funny scene, but then it would just kind of keep going to the point to where I'm like, I'm not digging this scene anymore. And pretty much anything that involved her and her friends in this movie, it's like, this is just awkward.
Yeah, the A.D. Bryant and Busy Phillips, and I do like those two as actresses. It's just like, I feel like we're supposed to be invested in this trio's dynamic, and it really didn't feel like friends, They
really didn't.
It was just kind of like two girls that she knew that were normal looking.
Yeah, and I understand the arc they're trying to take there. I mean, it's kind of similar in a way, sort of, to like Tom Hanks and his friend from Big. Uh, but in this, I was like, it's not really that funny. I understand what they're trying to do here in terms of the arc they're taking with this character, but it's just sort of unpleasant. Like it's not funny. It's just kind of grating. And this movie is longer than it needs to be. It's about an hour and 50 minutes long. And so many of those scenes weren't working for me. I was like, couldn't they just cut the Friends out of this movie? And still sort of had the same film, really?
I was looking at my watch, my clock on my phone several times during the movie.
Were you?
Okay, it's been an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's been an hour and 10 minutes. It's got to be over soon. It wasn't over soon.
It's been on for 60 minutes. It's got to end any minute now.
I mean, like, for me, the funniest parts of the movie were just, like, tiny little one-offs, you know?
Yeah.
Like, Michelle Williams plays this sort of, like, CEO of the makeup company, and she's just sort of, like, flighty, but she keeps, like, landing in these poses like you'd see in, like, a makeup commercial, and it was cracking me up every time. Like, she walks up to, like, talk to her at a table, and instead of, like, sitting at the table, she, like, just gently rests her hands on the table, and then gently rests her head in her hands, all while just, like, talking banality.
You know what she was in this movie?
What?
Remember Anne Hathaway in Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah!
First of all, it's fascinating that Michelle Williams is in this film. I'm like, this is weird. Like, I'm used to every Michelle Williams movie I see being like, definitely an Oscar contender. This, I don't think so.
I think she was having fun.
No,
though.
she was. She was, and she was enjoyable in the film. Like, if anything, it's like, all right, like she's been doing a lot of really serious movies lately. Like, I understand, like, the need to want to go to a movie like this and just kind of cut loose and have fun. And
you can tell she's got the acting chops, because like this, every little movement, she was very aware of, like, her body and doing it to tell, like, jokes specifically for me. And, like, just like there's this moment on the plane where she's, like, taking, like, a shit ton of, like, sedatives because she's nervous on planes, and she's just like, perfectly still, and then Amy Schumer hoves into her field of vision, and she just kind of, like, slowly gains sentience. It was kind of wonderful to watch.
Yeah, that's pretty much me on airplanes. More or less.
Just take a bunch of pills.
I got 50 Klonopin in me right now. I'm ready to do this.
Just stuff your cheeks like a hamster.
Yeah. It was Michelle Williams being in this movie was like looking at some kind of alternate universe where she kept doing movies like Halloween H2O.
I thought she was in that movie.
She is. Although I think the next movie she's in is I think she's in Venom. So we'll see how that movie goes.
Okay, no, I'm confusing Venom with Spawn.
Well, you're close, and how the movie might turn out, I don't know. Like, I hope that movie's good because it's Tom Hardy, and I don't.
Is Tom Hardy playing Venom?
Yeah, he is. There's a teaser trailer out for it right now that's not going over very well, but I don't know. Is it like in
the Marvel comic universe? Is it, like,
it's not part of the MCU. No, it's not part of the MCU. It's
cinematic universe. I get in trouble.
It's
MCU in both cases. I don't know why they did this to me.
Your phone blowing up and it's Dave texting you.
God damn it!
Dave's watching.
I do that to Dave on purpose, just to make him make that Dave face.
What's it called? The Marvel Extended Universe?
Well, no, because I swear up and down the Blade's canon, and he gets so mad.
About Blade being canon?
Yep, all 3 Blades, because we were gonna watch all the Marvel comic movies in order.
Yeah.
In release order, because if you look it up chronological order, you gotta watch like 3 episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and like an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Thor like at the same time on 2 screens. But I was like, so we should watch Blade first, right? And then Blade 2, and then Blade Trinity. And he's like, no!
You're supposed to start with the Dolph Lundgren Punisher movie. That's what I would do. I love that fucking movie.
Did that come out before Blade?
Yeah, that was 80s.
Okay, well, I'll go home and report to it that we need to change our viewing order.
We'll
have to start again from the beginning.
Just start over. There is one thing I did like about this, and it was the romance plot line.
Yeah, Rory Scovel did a really good job, I thought.
Yeah, they have very good chemistry together. He is very funny in the film, and that part of the movie was sweet. Uh-oh. The light disagrees.
I don't want my phone to knock over. Okay.
I'm fearful of that every single time we do this because it's happened before.
I got those little poppy guys on the back so I can holster it on my fingers and kind of precariously perched now.
That didn't used to happen when we used the video camera. If we shut the door and the video camera toppled over, I'd assume there was a ghost in the car.
Oh no!
No, everything with Rory Scovel in the movie, the scenes with him and her were sweet. Because again, it's as much as I didn't like this movie very much, it's hard to get mad at it because its heart is in the right place. It's
See that I disagree only in that that's the one point this movie actually made me a little mad.
Was the Rory Scovel part?
Well, no, she kept picking on him for being effeminate.
Oh, okay.
Like there was one point that she called him out about it in front of her boss, and then there's another part where she's like, "Did you just come out as Zumba? Zumba's for girls." And he's like, "I like it." And she's like, "You big Zumba girl." It's like, "Fuck you."
It made sense for her character at that moment to
Yeah,
kind of do
it was
stuff
still
like
shitty,
that.
though.
Well, yeah, but I mean, at this point in the movie, her character is, and it's not just with him. I mean, it's with her friends too. She is saying these really kind of underhanded shit through.
She's just saying the underhanded shit, but it's played off as like, yeah, that's a character flaw. But I feel like the Zumba scene was played that like supposed to be like charming banter, and it fucking wasn't. It was just mean.
I don't know. Laura does that to me all the time.
Well, you shouldn't do so much Zumba, you big girl.
See? You get it. No. I don't even know what Zumba is, honestly.
It's like a aerobic, like a dance aerobics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's way too high impact for me.
What's
like,
the modern
thing? Ones where it's like what Worf does in Star Trek Next Generation.
Oh,
like,
okay.
That's my jam.
So it's like the modern equivalent of like in the 90s whenever they would do like a Zima gag and something.
Yeah, sort of.
Like, yeah. All that did was just make me want a Zima.
All this maybe was making me want a Zumba.
I hear they're delicious.
I do not want to Zumba. It's too much exercise.
Mm.
Same like that Soul Cycle, man. I still don't get it. She's like there's a whole plot centered around like Soul Cycle in this movie is like Mel Gibson wearing pantyhose and painting his fingernails during a lightning storm.
Yeah.
And then it's like the sort of the catalyst for the whole thing that's going on with her. And it's, I guess Soul Cycle is like, it's like everyone does the extra cycle at the same time in special shoes while they shout platitudes at you.
I go to the gym all the time. I've never done that. I've never even... I mean, there is a Cycle Fit program in there, but I don't know if they have special shoes or anything for it. I mean, I'm sure it's a thing. Like, just maybe not at my gym.
Little loopies on the foot pedals, right? You stick your feet in the loopies. You don't need special shoes for
I do
it.
that on the rowing machine. It takes me like 5 minutes to get out of those things.
You gotta have special shoes and special gloves for the rowing machine that just tie you to the thing until you're just...
Although I'm usually having a heart attack when it's over, so really that could... That's why it takes so long.
You're probably not doing it right, I gotta say.
No, sadly I am. It's just that intense. But
you gotta shout platitudes at yourself while you're rowing.
In front of a
Brad,
mirror.
What do you want?
There's no mirror in front of me when I do it. It's just a dark blue wall. Like,
just get like you a can compact and just like tape it to your face.
I did like that one character towards the end of this movie did throw out the line that it's when Michelle Williams does it, when she says to Amy Schumer, you know, our company does have a really good mental health package.
Yeah, I thought that was really nice that, you know, they didn't just fire her because she obviously had mental issues.
And I was so glad someone actually kind of addressed that in this one, because I know this is a silly movie, and it's not like you go to a movie like this and expect real world consequences.
I disbelieve it because they did not tell her about the mental health package.
Yeah, like, but it did reach a point in this film when I was thinking, like, can someone please question the sanity of this person, please? Again,
they're like, so you have a new title, VP of the diffusion line, but did you get like a pay raise? Because I feel like I would have asked for a pay raise just to make a receptionist salary at this point.
I did like the guy that she worked with in the basement with her.
Yeah, he was fun.
Yeah, I wish he was in it more. I wish he was in it way more than the friends in this movie are, because I was enjoying a lot of his gags in the film, and there's a whole subplot again with her work and her giving them like the advice of what people are looking for and how practical it can be, and who they should advertise to and with. And there's this plot line with Michelle Williams' brother in the film.
Mm-hmm. He's like the Hugh Grant from Bridget Jones's Diary.
Yeah, we were talking about this outside the car. I thought it was gonna go like all Martin Mull and Mr. Mom towards it, because the plot lines are a little similar in that in Mr. Mom, when Terry Garr starts working for the company, she's sort of like in this, only in Mr. Mom, she's telling the advertising agency like how they should be advertising to stay-at-home moms and families and things like that. And they're sort of doing that here from a different, but I mean, they're sort of doing that same type of storyline here. And when it reached the point to where like the handsome guy in there like went to Amy Schumer's hotel room when they were off on a business trip, like I thought it was gonna go like full Mr. Mom, where he like tries seducing her and she punches him. And
you know what it was? The Great Muppet Caper.
It's been so long. With Charles Grodin?
Yeah, because like in The Great Muppet Caper, Miss Piggy goes to work for like a high fashion company, and she's all she pretends to be someone she's not, like she pretends to be Lady Holiday, and so she's like dating Kermit, but then also Charles Grodin's there, and he's like the layabout brother of the owner of the company who's been like cut off financially, and so he's kind of like a roustabout, and he's hitting on Miss Piggy. And that was kind of the brother of this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't a singing thing where they had like the face bubbles on Miss Piggy does like a synchronized swimming thing.
Yeah.
But
I wish Charles Grodin was in this film.
Yeah. I wish that guy decided to like steal a bunch of diamonds and it became a bank heist movie.
It just starts bleeding into Ocean's 8. Did not expect this to be a prequel movie. All right, fine. I don't know what else to say. Is there anything else to say in this?
Man, it's like if you like Amy Schumer, you'll probably go ahead and watch it because it's very Amy Schumery, and there are points where she starts just pacing back and forth and doing stand-up. And the ladies behind us really seem to enjoy that.
Yeah,
she's never really been my favorite comedian, so it's not something that appealed to me. But I'd like, I feel like. Watch Trainwreck instead.
Yeah.
Trainwreck was a much better movie than this movie. It was much better writing.
It was a way better film than this. I mean, even though I didn't care much for this movie, I mean, she certainly goes all in the roles that she plays.
Yeah, she was acting her little butt off.
Yeah, but...
Like that they use it a lot in the preview, but that bikini scene with Dave Attell out of fucking nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
Just showing up like the fairy godfather. That was pretty amazing.
Yeah, that was a good scene. I mean, there are decent moments sprinkled throughout the movie. I mean, I got a few chuckles here and there. Largely, most of her scenes with Rory Scovel. Overall, though, I mean, look, I don't know. If you want to just rent it, fine. But there's movies that are like this that I just had a better time at.
Like What Women Want.
Yeah, I'd laughed more in that film. Again, Shallow Hal, I did. And you could argue that you could certainly make the argument that in those movies it's the same kind of joke again and again and again. But at least in those movies I laughed more. In this, no, not really. I think I might have come out of this the same way that I did that last Amy Schumer movie we saw.
Snatched?
Snatched, yeah. So it's just kind of a forgettable film. It's not that good, really. It's too long. It's awkward and not in any kind of good way.
The Darkest Minds. Oh, so it's like the children with superpowers.
I thought we were done with this kind of movie.
Like a dystopia. I could see this appealing to like teenagers that got it pretty rough right now, and I can see like a reality in which they have the power to fight against the dystopia in which they're living would be appealing.
Is this an original film? Because I didn't see based on an international bestseller anywhere.
It's based on an international bestseller. So if it's not, I'll be surprised.
There was nowhere in the trailer. It looked like, I don't know, like, yeah, they all get together and they have powers and everything. It looked like a dystopian version of that episode of the second season of Stranger Things. Have you seen the second season?
No, I haven't. I
Oh.
started, but then people started barfing up slugs, and I was like, you know what? I'm good.
I'm good. Go watch Slugs instead.
I'll wait until I'm in like a slug barfing mood.
It happens, trust me. That's why I have Slugs on DVD at home.
But this has got it's got Amanda.
Is that the girl from Everything Everything?
Actually, they came out as non-binary, but yes, it's that same person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. I was like, the hair seems the same. I think, but she's not living inside of a giant bubble, so I can't tell.
Yeah.
And
I mean, like, I enjoy them as an actor. But it's one of those things where like that, you know, that I Am Number 4 movie.
oh
Where
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
really good in the preview, because I love that like superpower shit. But the movie was just kind of just like boring.
Yeah, there. I don't even know if I saw that. I don't think I did. If I did, I certainly don't remember. It looked kind of like that dystopian like version of that standalone episode of the second season of Stranger Things. That wasn't a very good episode, but I don't know. I've gotten this trailer a few times, and yeah, I was just sort of like, I guess we're still doing this kind of film.
Yeah.
That is definitely something that you and I will most likely.
Yeah, send me to it, man. Because
Yeah.
like I if it's done well, I could see myself enjoying. Because I
Yeah.
do like that sort of movie. Oh, we got Overboard again.
Because yeah, we did.
They saw us coming from a mile away. They're like, oh my god, Brent and Sarah are coming. Let's put the Overboard preview back
Hey,
up.
we gotta splice this in there. I don't think they do that with trailers anymore there, but like, we gotta stick this one in there. That picture I sent you the other day where they had a billboard of Overboard over like that boat shop in Chicago. I made sure to get a picture of that on the way back. It's like, I know that shitty looking boat shop. That Overboard billboard's around here somewhere.
I think I messaged you back like, that's some quality cross promotion right there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You go Overboard for our prices.
I'm so excited.
Book Club, which I don't know, I'm kind of excited for just because I like those sort of Mingling Wrinkles movies.
Yeah, it looks kind of like it's like it combines two things I love, which is it looks like a combination of Golden Girls and Sex and the City.
Yeah, well, it's got that Golden Girls sort of embarrassment where it's just like, oh no, you found my porn book, and not like the embarrassment in this fucking movie where it's like, oh no, I fell and stabbed myself in the vagina and then stumbled out into the street in my underpants the first 5 minutes of the movie.
As you do.
Yeah.
Happens all the time.
We did mention when we were watching the preview that it is a little creepy maybe that Don Johnson's in this movie, considering that his daughter was the one getting sexed so right in the movie trilogy.
But it's like I said, maybe the movie doesn't exist in this movie's universe.
Except again, as I replied, it does in this universe, which is a universe where Don Johnson decided to be in a movie about people reading the book that the movie that his daughter was doing sex so right in was.
There could be much worse things. Like, I've seen several Dario Argento movies that have sex scenes with his daughter.
That's so creepy. I'm sorry, that's so creepy. Asia Argento, right?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I was like, what movie trailer did we get that's called Asia?
Called Asia Argento, why it's so creepy that her dad keeps casting her movies where she gets sex so right. Boundaries.
Oh, that was that road movie.
Yeah, it's got Christopher Lloyd in it.
Yeah,
He's still kicking.
Christopher Lloyd, Christopher Plummer, Vera Farmiga was in that. It looked fine. It looked like, this year's, like, indie road film. So it did look like it might be kind of funny. I don't know if that'll come to Springfield or not, but it looked all right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like it did look funny, and there were a couple points in the preview that made me laugh, but it does also look super embarrassing because he's like Loki selling marijuana out of his trunk while his daughter's driving him cross country. And he's like conned his grandson into helping him sell pot.
You gotta pay for gas somehow.
Except he's not giving the mom any of the money. She's the one paying for gas.
We don't know that though. They might in the full movie. We don't know where the weed money's going.
Mamma Mia 2, here we go again.
Yeah, we got that trailer a bunch of times. It's not a new trailer or anything like that. Is that whole movie shot on a green screen?
I think it must be. It does look very sun-drenched. And like we were talking in the lobby before the movie about, because I was listening to the Greatest Showman soundtrack on my drive over here, and we were waxing poetic about how we didn't much care for the movie, but we're glad it did well because that means there'll be more musicals. I feel like I'd prefer better musicals than Mamma Mia 2, here we go again, but at least we're on the right track.
Sure, yeah. And the first movie's popular enough. The second one will probably do well.
We'll
Maybe.
probably have to watch the first movie so that we're not totally lost.
Yeah.
I know
We
it's
might
like
not be. It's a
whodunit,
prequel film.
And it being the character's mom, because she's trying to figure out who her dad is, and it's not Colin Firth, which made me mad because I wanted to be Colin Firth.
Yeah. Oh, wait, was that this movie? What movie was
There's
that?
Mamma Mia 1,
Oh.
Colin, we have gone again once.
For a second, I thought you were talking about that Bridget Jones movie that you and Dave went to go see.
Oh, Bridget Jones's Baby. No, it was...
Yeah.
Yeah, she was confused whose baby it was. Maybe?
Mm-hmm.
That movie was fucking forgettable.
So many movies where they're trying to figure out if Colin Firth is the father.
Colin Firth is always the father.
Thankfully, not in that Nicole Kidman movie we watched.
Oh, God! I forgot about that movie!
Me too, until just a second ago.
Yeah, no, and I was gonna flash him wanging her in the head with an iron.
That movie got kind of amazing in the last 20 minutes.
It really did. Whatever that movie was called, you guys watch that instead of this movie.
What the fuck was that called? It didn't have...
Colin Firth wangs her in the face with an iron.
Didn't have-
Sorry, spoilers.
Yeah. Check that movie out.
Ocean's 8. Which I'm feeling a little better about, because the
was a new
first preview
trailer.
I watched for it was just like, let's steal jewelry from ladies because we are ourselves ladies. But this seemed more, it was more invested in like Danielle Ocean or whatever the hell her name
Yeah.
is, like being in jail and planning out a heist and talking to ladies into like helping her.
I think the movie looks fine. It looks like it might be like a fun jewelry heist
I'm hoping
film.
it's not the same twist as was in Ocean's 11. I can't imagine it will be.
Probably.
Like, it turns out they've set up like a duplicate Met Ball down the street for them to...
Or I hope it doesn't do that stupid fucking plot they did in the second movie with
They already stole the egg.
No.
Wait, I'm thinking of the third movie.
No, the egg was the second one. The
Okay.
third one was when they were getting revenge on Al Pacino. The third one I kind of liked, but
Mm-hmm.
the second one they throw in a stupid plot where Julia Roberts' character
Oh,
has
yeah.
to go...
Like, pretend to be actual Julia Roberts because in this universe Julia Roberts exists.
Yeah.
And, like, Bruce Willis is
He
like,
shows up.
Julia!
That was so dumb.
I enjoyed it.
I hope it doesn't do that. You look like Sandra Bullock. If we're doing this again.
What? And then Adrift, which I was on my phone for most of because even the preview stresses me out.
Oh yeah, that I don't know. I'm not looking forward to that.
Is it Shailene Woodley and Fennec wheelchair?
Yeah, Sam Calvin, is that his name?
I think so. He's a handsome little dude. It's just
Mhm.
like I don't really want to watch two people almost drown to death for 2 hours or however long it is.
More often than not, Adrift at Sea movies kind of start boring me after a while.
Uh-huh.
So I'm sort of worried the same thing's gonna happen here.
It seemed pretty eventful, but in the preview. But I mean, previews are kind of designed to make them seem eventful, so I can't really.
It kind of looks like the whole like perfect storm thing that's going on in it will probably be like the first quarter of the movie, and then the rest of it would be, I'm just guessing, but then the rest of it would be them washed out at sea, and it might get kind of boring. Uh-oh, is the sound out?
Someone said Sarah has an O-neck shirt, I think, and I couldn't figure out what the hell that meant.
I got a Dark Universe shirt on. It's an antique. Get them while they're hot. Oh yeah, the ketchup stain on here didn't originally come with the shirt.
It's canon now because it's in the Dark Universe.
Yeah. Why not make anything canon in that universe at this point? Was that it?
That's it.
All right. Well, next week is Avengers, but Super Troopers 2 also comes out.
Mm-hmm.
There's also like Sergeant Stubby and Isle of Dogs is playing, so I'm gonna try to see those two at some point, maybe during the week.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta find some time to see fucking Super Troopers 2. I don't know when, but
You can see that with Irving.
I originally asked him about it later on tonight, but he
He's
wouldn't.
like, I'm not feeling well.
I would be. No, I believe him because he said I believe him that he's not feeling well because he also said he said yes to a 10:30 screening of Sherlock Gnomes a few weeks ago.
Whoa, okay.
Oh, that was.
How was that movie?
That was the saddest experience of my life.
Did that one gnome fart in a puddle and it made bubbles?
No, actually, that was not in the movie. Like all the like the shitty like fart gags and stuff like that. Like They weren't in the film. It was still terrible. Don't get me wrong. Oh man, that movie it was showing so late, and I was so mad that we weren't the only ones in the theater.
I want to be noisy about my displeasure.
I was so tired during that film. It was one of those where I just had to slap myself awake every time. I was like, that movie fucking blew. All right, everyone.
Speaking of tired.
Thanks a bunch for watching, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Take care.